Actually, I just forgot his first name, which is terrible. Magomedov. He just fought did the double uh spinning back knuckle knockout. And
Shara Bullet?
then he called, yeah, then he called out my boy Izzy. Mate, I'm at that weight right now. We don't even have to wait too long. That one there, I'll just take straight away just for the fun of it.
Wow. So you'd be willing to go up to 85 to fight him?
Oh, 100. Like, that's what I'm fighting at. That's what I'm grappling at right now. So I'm in shape now, ready to go. So that's a good fight for me, I think. Just a nice stand-up fight for everybody. Just to come back to the game. And like I said, like leave my boy Izzy alone. He's trying to get back to the belt, to the throne. So I'll take his place.
All right, the one and only MVP, Michael Venom Page is here, and this weekend it's out of the octagon onto the grappling mat. It's Michael Venom Page versus the natural born killer, Carlos Condit, this Saturday in London, Polaris 30. And if you can't make it to London, you can watch all the action on UFC Fight Pass. MVP, good to see you, my man. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Excited for this weekend.
Yeah, you've done a lot of interesting things over the past 5 or 6 years, and probably longer than that. But we're doing MMA, we're boxing, we're fighting Mike Perry and BKFC, and now grappling a legend, a former WEC champion, former interim UFC champion, a guy who fought for undisputed UFC gold, Carlos Condit. This is pretty damn cool, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's I'd like to leave a legacy of being a true martial artist. Like I can go wherever the fight takes me, and adapt and be competitive in those areas. So yeah, no, it's definitely a fun one that I seem to blindside a lot of people all the time and just pick out these random things. But yeah, I'm excited for this one.
So, how did this happen? When were you approached with this? What was your reaction to finding out, hey, you have the chance to grapple Carlos freaking Condit?
Yeah, so initially, so after the my last fight, in fact, before my last fight, I was already saying to myself I wanted to take a little bit of time out just to focus on grappling. Um, and then after the last fight, I was like, yep, 100%. I really want to just focus on the grappling side of things. And then a friend of mine is good friends with one of the fight organizers and fight matchmakers of Polaris. And he just mentioned it. Obviously, he's from my gym, and he just mentioned it to say like, oh yeah, if you're going to do that, would you be interested in doing Polaris? I was like, actually, yeah, like give me something to work towards, as well as just improving my jiu-jitsu. So that's how the initially started. And he actually ended up speaking to the matchmaker. He initially, it was supposed to be Donald Cerrone, actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think everything was kind of like okayed, and then he kind of went dark. So I'm not sure what happened on his side. But they said just in case, like, let's look for some other people because the responses are not coming in anymore. So I just wanted to make sure. And then obviously Carlos's name came up, and it's like, yeah, another great match. As you say, just a beast in the game. Someone that I respect as well. I've watched before. And I thought, yeah, still another a great fight, a great matchup. So, and now we're here.
What's your favorite Carlos Condit fight? Because I think Carlos Condit versus Robbie Lawler is the greatest fight in UFC history. And I know other people look at Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald,
Yeah,
and there's a great debate, but I think that Condit Lawler is one of the most complete fights from
that
start
is,
to finish that I've ever seen.
yeah, that is definitely. I'd say it has to be up there. But yeah, I understand the question mark with in terms of the Robbie McDonald as well, because that was I think there was different elements to that. There was just a gruesome fight. That was a war. Like I said, there was with the Condit fight and Robbie is there were so many back and forths technically as well. Um, yeah, that's now that you just put that in my head. I think definitely that's definitely up there.
It would have been cool. Like, I just feel like you at one point and him in his prime, MVP
Mm.
versus Carlos Condit, one of those hypothetical fantasy matchmaking
Yeah, yeah,
battles.
yeah.
What a freaking fight that would have been.
That would have been a great fight. I'd have loved to have tested myself against a current Condit, but at least I get to some sort of a feel of Carlos.
Yeah. You said that once Polaris kind of came to you with this idea of competing on the card, Cerrone was the name that was mentioned, and then you landed on Condit. It was something you wanted to work towards, right? You wanted to work hard, get to this, and then you have something to really compete for. What are you hoping to get out of this experience with Carlos to do it in London, which is not that far away? And what do you hope is the biggest takeaway from this experience for you?
It's in all honesty, it's just the experience, full stop. One aspect of my game that I want to improve on is the grappling, but not in the way maybe people might think. I feel the the space I want to improve on is the grappling under the lights. It's very different. Now, I grapple regularly in the gym, and I have been for many years. And I love grappling. I actually do love jiu-jitsu. Obviously, when I'm fighting, I don't care to take it into a place that I'm weaker than in terms of my strengths are is my striking. So it's not a place I want to take it to. But I really do enjoy jiu-jitsu. But I do find in there's been a few matches where I get to certain spaces of grappling and I end up being in like a conscious state of, oh yeah, I should do this now, I should do that. And you can't fight uh in a fight being conscious like that. It has to be drilled, it has to be subconscious, you have to be reactive. Otherwise, you're 10, 20 steps behind if you're having to go through a thought process because they've moved on. So it's that side. That's why I really the Polaris really intrigued me because I was like, actually, it allows me to train my jiu-jitsu, but then also experience it under the lights with people watching and with that pressure. So I really want to just do that. That's the only experience I want to take away from it. Other than that, I just like I said, I just love being a martial artist and just showing my skills in every aspect.
Yeah, because I think one of the underrated aspects of your game is your grappling. Because people have always
Mhm.
said, even when you were at Bellator, just take him down and he'll never get
Mhm.
up, and that's how you beat him. And
Mhm.
no one really was able to do that. Like even in the
Mhm.
Logan Storley fight, most people scored the fight for you, and
Mhm.
then in the Ian Garry fight, a lot of people thought you won that fight as well. Like
Mhm.
does that one kind of frustrate you a little bit, or are you already past what happened in June?
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm always frustrated more so at myself because I'm always like, yeah, when you're looking back at a fight, like, oh man, I never like to put it on anybody else. The judges, like, I can do that all day with other people's fights. I'm like, oh, the judge was terrible in that one, on this one, that, and that. But for myself, I like to always recoup the power and blame myself and then fix what needs to be fixed. I think that's the best way to kind of progress and move forward instead of overlooking a fight and be like, no, the judges should have scored it this way, or why, or blame my opponent. He's doing exactly what he needed to do to win, and he done, and he won. So, for me, always put it back on myself. It was frustrating because I know there was areas that I could have been a lot better in. And this is why I wanted to. That was an added plus to me wanting to just take a little bit of time out and just focus on grappling, and then obviously now landed here.
How would you describe your year in MMA? Because you signed with the UFC, it's a big
Mm.
deal, right?
Mm.
And then you fight Kevin Holland, you beat him, and then you have the fight with the International Fight Week, pretty big deal.
Mm.
Didn't go your way, but still learning experience. And now you got Carlos Condit, and that's kind of a cool thing. You get to develop a skill
Mhm.
even more so. How would
Yeah,
you describe 2024 for you as a mixed martial artist?
it's been I'd say a prosperous year. I really have enjoyed the level up. I've enjoyed um almost putting a stamp on where I knew I was. I know there's a big question mark over my head with regards to can I hang in the UFC? Is my talent level that of the UFC level? So it's been nice to not only get signed, but also tick that box of, let everyone know that, oh yeah, now he's competitive at this level as well. And like you say, it didn't the last fight didn't go my way, but it was close. And like I said, there's only a few alterations. I don't think it changes that I'm of that level. And now I get to again express my martial arts skills in a different way, show the world or keep shocking the world by doing a little something different. And then straight back to it next year, I want to be really, really aggressive in the cage. Um, I've had a year when I've had 5 fights in 1 year. That's the goal again. I want to be that kind of aggressive, get a fight, put someone away, back at it, back at it, back at it straight away. So yeah, I'm actually excited for next year as well.
So what are we thinking? January, February,
I
ideally?
want to
When would you like to get back?
yeah. I want to go, fire right out the gate. So I'd say February, give myself a little time. I do want to continue this jujitsu journey um in terms of just focusing on that maybe towards the until the end of the year, and then have the shift and say, okay, now we're back to get the game. So I think February is a perfect time to give me a nice camp, adding the striking back, and then go from there. And then literally, February, I think they're coming to the UK maybe April, and then just back to back to back to back to back to back.
Anybody stand out to you? You're not like a huge call out guy these days, but you kind of see the landscape of this division. You have goals in mind that you want to accomplish. So is there anybody that sort of stands out to you to go from Holland to Gary and then fill in the blank?
Um, Actually, I just forgot his first name, which is terrible. Magomedov. He just fought did the double uh spinning back knuckle knockout. And
Shara Bullet?
then he called out my boy Izzy. Mate, I'm at that weight right now. We don't even have to wait too long. That one there, I'll just take straight away just for the fun of it.
Wow. So you'd be willing to go up to 85 to fight him?
Oh, 100. That's what I'm fighting at. That's what I'm grappling at right now. So I'm in shape now, ready to go. So that's a good fight for me, I think. Just a nice stand-up fight for everybody. Just to come back to the game. And like I said, like leave my boy Izzy alone. He's trying to get back to the belt, to the throne. So I'll take his place.
I love that. So you mentioned you want to be active this year. So you kind of want to maybe do that Kevin Holland role where it's like 70-85, 70-85, like whatever's available, as long as it's fun and gets you out of bed, like let's just do it
Listen,
all.
I want to make noise, man. I said that as soon as I came in here. If it's a good fight, exciting fight, we can do it wherever. Let's go.
Love that. Couple last things. Belal Muhammad is the new welterweight champion. A lot of people are talking about what happens if MVP fights Leon Edwards. That's could be a very big deal, but
Mhm.
Belal goes to Manchester and wins the belt. What did you think of
Mhm.
his performance?
Oh man, exceptional performance. I am gonna be I don't know if I'm being biased by doing this, but I am gonna say I do think Leon does deserve a rematch, and more so because having your body try to work at 6 in the morning is ridiculous. Like, as much as I'm sure he shifted and changed his times and whatnot, it's so difficult, especially it being the place you're from. Your body's just like, what are you talking about? We don't, we're supposed to sleep right now. So, and he did not look tired, just looked like his body just wasn't giving anything back to him. Not taking anything away from Belal because I thought he performed really well. Smart, stayed in his face, put a lot of pressure. His striking was looking really, really good. And then obviously the takedowns, which is his game anyway, exceptional. Some of the lifts and slams that he did was unbelievable. But still, again, with a tired Leon, you know, wasn't able to finish him. And then Leon, caught some nice elbows and the few things that he did where, with a tired body. So I feel like that fight should happen again. Potentially the results may change. But yeah, Bilal, I think is just a great champion. I love his story. I love him as a character. I love him as a person. I think he's a great guy. And yeah, he's taken the long road similarly to Leon to get there. And, he deserves to hold that belt.
And now he's fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov, who everyone considers is kind of the boogeyman. And
Yeah.
if we're for up to you. If you were one of the matchmakers, maybe Leon gets the winner of that fight. But if that were the case and Leon were to get the winner, who do you think he would fight? Because there not a lot of people giving Belal a chance there. They just think that Shavkat's going to just go in there and steamroll him.
Weirdly enough, I'm the opposite. I actually think Belal, stylistically, I think it suits him a little bit better, especially the way he was striking in that last fight. I actually think if he fights very similarly, he could do the same thing again. He might not finish him because and the reason I'm saying similarly in terms of that pressure fight, if you look at the fight with Jeff Neal and Shavkat, Jeff was in his face the whole time. Obviously, he got caught out at the end. I just don't see Belal getting caught like that, so in a submission like that. So, like, it's gonna be down to him being in his face, striking with him, and then obviously him going for the takedowns. So I actually see it slightly differently. I think Belal can win that one.
It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be great to see you and Shara Bullet if they put that fight together. It's going to be great seeing you on the grappling mat this Saturday, Polaris 30. It's Michael Venom Page versus Carlos Condit in London. You can catch all the action on UFC Fight Pass. Michael, good to see you, my man. All the best to you this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, man. Take care.